darkness of space had always held secrets, but none more terrifying than the evolution of xenomorph technology. For centuries, humanity believed itself to be at the pinnacle of technological advancement, crafting tools, machines, and artificial intelligence to extend its dominion beyond Earth. Yet, lurking in the uncharted reaches of the cosmos, the xenomorphs were evolving, not merely as biological predators but as entities capable of adapting, assimilating, and constructing their own terrifying technologies. It began with the first recorded encounters on LV-426, where the xenomorphs demonstrated an unparalleled ability to use their environment to their advantage. Initially dismissed as mere instinctual behavior, researchers later realized that these creatures displayed an advanced form of hive intelligence, capable of constructing intricate hive structures using both organic secretion and repurposed materials from human-built stations. The early years of research classified their actions as advanced nest building, but over time, it became evident that the xenomorphs were not just building shelters, they were designing fortifications. As the Weyland-Yutani Corporation sought to weaponize the species, their scientists inadvertently contributed to the evolution of xenomorph technology. Containment units, surveillance devices, and even experimental cybernetic augmentations introduced into controlled xenomorph environments were not simply disregarded by the creatures. They were observed, dismantled, and repurposed. What began as crude manipulations of their surroundings soon turned into intentional modifications of their hives. Metallic reinforcements began appearing within the organic structures, ventilation shafts were repurposed into complex mazes, and hive walls incorporated reflective materials to disrupt thermal scans. These were not mere accidents but calculated adjustments meant to counteract human technology. The first true breakthrough in xenomorph technological evolution occurred on a distant colony world, designated Hadrian 7. When a research team deployed automated sentry turrets around a xenomorph nest, they expected overwhelming firepower to eradicate the infestation. Instead, the creatures displayed an unthinkable level of understanding. They tested the turret's range, observed their firing patterns, and eventually disabled them by utilizing their acidic blood to corrode the targeting sensors. When reinforcements arrived weeks later, they found not only a thriving xenomorph colony, but also remnants of the turrets integrated into their hive structures. Some of the damaged sensors had been affixed to the walls, creating a primitive form of motion detection, alerting the hive to human movement before the intruders even stepped inside. Weyland-Yutani, along with several Black Ops military divisions, began deploying cybernetic experiments on xenomorph specimens, implanting tracking devices and neural interfaces in an attempt to control their behavior. The results were catastrophic. The implants were either rejected or, in some cases, assimilated into the xenomorph physiology. One recorded case involved a Praetorian-class xenomorph whose neural implant had been designed to relay movement data back to human observers. Instead, the creature's hive began exhibiting synchronized behavior, responding to external threats with a newfound precision. Scientists speculated that the xenomorphs had learned to repurpose the signal, using it to enhance their already formidable coordination. The culmination of xenomorph technological evolution occurred when an abandoned space station, designated Atlas 9, was rediscovered after decades of silence. Originally a research outpost focused on bioweapons, Atlas 9 had been lost after a containment breach. When a reconnaissance team was dispatched to investigate, they found an eerie and unsettling sight. The hive had spread across the entire facility, but unlike previous infestations, this one had integrated human technology into its very structure. Surveillance cameras, now covered in xenomorph resin, still functioned, seemingly repurposed to monitor human movement. Power systems had been rerouted, ensuring that sections of the station remained operational, allowing artificial gravity and life support to function selectively. The most chilling discovery, however, was the communication relay. The xenomorphs had somehow managed to activate a distress signal, one that was not merely a repeating SOS but an intricate transmission, an imitation of human speech patterns, luring more prey into their domain. It became evident that xenomorph evolution was no longer solely biological. They were learning, adapting, and utilizing technology in ways that defied all known intelligence paradigms. What had once been dismissed as an instinct-driven species had transformed into an entity that could rival, if not surpass, human ingenuity. If left unchecked, the implications were dire. Efforts were made to contain the spread, but each encounter only accelerated their technological grasp. Colonists began reporting sightings of xenomorphs manipulating control panels, causing deliberate power failures, and even employing rudimentary strategies to sabotage human installations. The creatures had transcended their origins as simple predators. They were now engineers of their own evolution. In the end, humanity faced an unsettling truth. Xenomorphs were not just survivors. They were innovators. Their ability to incorporate technology into their existence meant that any conflict with them was no longer a battle of brute force but a war of intelligence. The question was no longer whether humanity could defeat them, but whether it could outthink them before it was too late. The realization sent shockwaves through military and corporate entities. Containment protocols evolved into aggressive counterintelligence operations, with specialized teams trained not only in combat but also in technological warfare. The challenge lay in predicting the next step in xenomorph evolution. Would they begin integrating artificial intelligence? Could they hijack human networks and weapon systems? These questions kept top strategists awake at night, knowing that each failed countermeasure might only serve to enhance the xenomorph's growing arsenal. A breakthrough came when researchers devised a method to track the bioelectric signals emitted by the xenomorph's evolving neural networks. By deploying decoy systems that mimicked these signals, they successfully misled xenomorph scouting parties, diverting them away from critical installations. However, this victory was short-lived. Within weeks, reports emerged that xenomorphs had adapted, using their own bioelectric emissions to scramble human sensors. What had initially been a defensive maneuver had been turned against them. The war between humanity and the xenomorphs had entered a new phase, one defined not just by survival but by technological supremacy. With each engagement, the line between organic evolution and artificial intelligence blurred further. Some scientists even speculated that if the xenomorphs continued to assimilate technology, they might one day develop a form of sentient intelligence. The possibility of a self-aware, technologically advanced xenomorph species was a nightmare beyond comprehension. In the depths of space, the battle raged on. Each faction sought dominance in an ever-evolving game of adaptation. For humanity, the mission was clear: find a way to contain, control, or eradicate the xenomorph threat before it was too late. But for the xenomorphs, the mission had already changed. They were no longer just hunting. They were learning, building, and preparing for a future where they would no longer be the hunted, but the masters of an unforgiving universe.